Alright everyone, here's what you're going to need to make a parallel circuit that lights up a constellation. You need black poster paper, black foam board, coin battery, copper tape, some diodes for your stars, and you're also going to need a white pencil crayon, a ruler, a push pin, a sticky tack, and a big nail, and also some scissors. So first of all, make 3 marks with white pencil crayon along one of the shorter edges of your black poster paper that are all 3 centimeters from the edge, and then use your foam board to trace a line. And fold the poster paper along this line. Find a photo of your constellation and create a new document in Google Docs and paste the image of your constellation into it so it's saved later or so you can shrink or enlarge it if you need to. Then use a smartboard projector to shine the image onto your poster paper and center the image on your paper, and then trace each star in white pencil crayon using small circles and add lines to connect them. And be sure no star is closer than 6 centimeters to your folded line. Next, draw a dot in the center of each of your stars. Put your poster paper on top of your black foam board and line up the 2 short edges of your foam board and poster paper, the ones directly across from the folded side. And in the video I didn't do this, so don't make my mistake. I had to go and fix it later on. Use a push pin to create a small hole through each dot you just drew. The push pin should poke through the poster board and into the foam board. And then remove your poster board and use a large nail to puncture a hole where each small hole is in the foam board. And then flip it over and do the same thing from the other side. And then you can just set the foam board aside for now. On your poster board, draw one dot 1.5 centimeters above and another dot 1.5 centimeters below each of the dots you just drew at the center of your stars. And then place your coin battery in the middle of the narrow, folded section of your poster board, fairly close to the first star of your constellation, and use a white pencil crayon to trace around the battery. Draw a positive sign in this circle. Then place the battery on the other side of the folded line in the mirror position of your trace circle. Trace around the battery again and draw a negative sign in the middle of this circle. Then starting from the center of your positive circle, draw straight lines to create a path that passes through each of the dots above your stars. These lines are going to be used as guides so you know where to put the copper tape, which will be the path the electricity follows, just like electrical wire. And we're going to call these copper tape paths rails. And then draw positive signs along this path. And then, starting from the center of your negative circle, draw straight lines to create a path that passes through each of the dots below your stars. And then draw negative signs along this path. And do not connect the path above the stars to the path below the stars. The positive and negative paths should never touch each other or cross one another. Next, you're going to stick copper tape to the lines you've just drawn. You'll find that when you peel the paper backing off, the tape tends to curl and it can be really difficult to work with. It may be best to avoid using really long pieces. Next, bend the legs of your LED so they create a straight line and are perpendicular to your bulb. And then use a small amount of copper tape to stick the positive leg, which is the longer one, of each LED to the positive copper rail, and the negative leg, which is the shorter one, of each LED to the negative copper rail. And be sure your bulb is centered and is standing straight up. And then tape the battery in place, use copper tape, in the negative circle you traced, being sure the positive side is facing up. And don't put too much tape on the positive terminal, which is the top of your battery. Next, fold the paper flap over to test the parallel circuit you're creating each time you've placed an LED in place, and each LED should light up. Once the LEDs light up and are taped in place, carefully put the black foam board on top of your poster paper and fit each LED light through each hole you created. This can be kind of tricky and you may need to tweak the holes you made. You may use sticky tack to keep the poster paper and the foam board together, and there you have it. There's a constellation.